Mumbai, a city of 14 million people and growing. The city pulses with life, promising jobs, a loosening of India's rigid caste system, and material goods not available in the rural countryside. But its dense population carries a price. Its packed trains, buses, and slums are a perfect breeding ground for a vexing and hard-to-cure disease, one spread by a simple human cough. Tuberculosis is ravaging India, and the current healthcare system can't keep up with the growing problem. An estimated 400 million Indians now live with latent TB infection or active disease. Infected men and women crowd India's tuberculosis wards. Women come to Shivri Hospital, the main TB hospital in Mumbai, as a last resort. The poorest patients will either spend weeks awaiting treatment or die.
TB is by far India's biggest healthcare problem.
Dr. Zarir Udwadia is a chest specialist in Mumbai.
Not happy with the X-ray.
Many of the TB patients he sees can't be cured by the most commonly available drugs. Dr. Udwadia has a successful private practice, but for 2 hours each week he offers his services for free. He is hit with such a rush of desperate patients that he often can't spend more than 4 to 5 minutes with each. One of those patients is 19-year-old Rohan Gola.
He is resistant to all his first-line drugs, quite a few of his second-line drugs. You follow? So it's a nasty strain of TB, okay? MDR with resistance to many other second-line drugs. Okay, in fact, an XDR strain. Okay?
XDR-TB, or extensively drug-resistant tuberculosis, is a mutated strain of TB that can't be cured by first-line drugs. Rohan was diagnosed with XDR-TB 6 months before this visit. His treatment includes nauseating and expensive chemotherapy, painful daily shots, and a serious operation.
So we initially gave him the drugs, got his smear status from positive to negative, and at the right time, offering surgery maximizes your chance of cure. He looked after you well.
16 days ago, Rohan had half his left lung removed.
Okay, that's his nasty scar from one end of the lung to the other, as you can see.
Doctors hope the risky operation will increase his chance of being cured. Rohan lives with his family in a tenement of one-room apartments called a chawl. Averaging 7 to 10 people per apartment, there are 200 people per floor. Every day, Rohan climbs the spit-stained stairs that lead to the few square feet of Mumbai he and 7 family members call home.
Everything is changed. See, while speaking also I cannot speak like a normal person. I feel breathless. I cannot play. I used to play cricket. I cannot play. I cannot walk like a normal person. I cannot run.
His family had pinned their hopes on Rohan to save them from financial ruin. Before he got sick, he was studying computer sciences in college. TB changed all that.
My college, I lost it all the way. I lost staying with my friends, colleagues. So I was totally helpless. I used to lie down 24 hours to 7. Nothing, even I eat anything, it would come out. I found somewhere myself lacking behind in this competitive world.
Now, the whole family worries about how to pay for his medicine. His father is unemployed. His mother cleans houses. Her income of roughly 2,500 rupees, or $50 a month, doesn't come close to covering Rohan's medicine, about 8,000 rupees or $160 a month.
This is a drug for TB. Cycloserine. This is too expensive. It's 260.
260 rupees?
260 rupees.
For how many?
For 3 days.
For 3 days?
Yes.
पैशाच्या दृष्टीने फार अवघड अडचणी फार आल्या.
हां डॉक्टरीने विकले मुलासाठी गोळ्यांसाठी त्यांच्या.
The family has even reached out to anyone willing to help.
आजारात कसं बरा करायचा आपण, कुठे जायचं, मग असं इकडे इकडे गेलो पण काय कोणी असं मदत करत नाही, नातेवाईक वगैरे वगैरे.
As difficult as Rohan's living conditions are, it gets worse. Dharavi, covering less than 1 square mile in the heart of Mumbai, is the world's largest slum, with a population estimated at nearly 1 million. Crippling poverty has forced people to pack into Dharavi, all breathing, sleeping, and coughing on one another.
Mostly is a thickly populated, bad hygienic conditions. The gutters between the two slums, they are not clean. Then being a compact place, infectious is very faster and faster.
18-year-old Samina Banu has a slightly more treatable form of drug-resistant tuberculosis than Rohan. But the problem, once again, is money. Samina and her family had to scrimp to collect enough money for the diagnostic test. Paying for her medication is another matter entirely.
फिर वहाँ से रिपोर्ट जब आई तो फिर यहाँ पे दिखाई जे हॉस्पिटल में, तो फिर वो बोले 5,000 का करवाना जरूरी है, तो उसके लिए हमारे पास इतना पैसे नहीं थे.
Samina is a patient of Dr. Shingan, a family doctor in Dharavi.
Samina is not only one patient. There are so many other patients. They are suffering from this MDR tuberculosis, and they are going to die without getting the proper line of the treatment.
Dr. Shingan has seen many drug-resistant patients struggle to pay for treatment. Since the poorest in Mumbai are often the hardest hit by the disease, he says the government needs to do more.
The secondary line of treatment is very costly. Our poor people, they cannot afford it, and also government, they are not supplying this drug.
What the government is doing is fighting the most common form of TB with its DOTS, or Direct Observed Treatment Program.
There are total 118 patients.
The program distributes free first-line medications under the watchful eyes of health officials. But some, like researcher Dr. Nergis Mistry, warn the DOTS program doesn't cure everyone.
Contrary to what the DOTS advertisement on television tells you, take DOTS and you'll be cured of TB, it's a hell of a problem to have a patient complete their entire DOTS therapy, because there are a lot of side effects even in the first-line drugs.
When patients stop and start their TB drugs or don't complete their treatment, the tuberculosis bacterium become more and more resistant. Dr. Arun Bomni works for the city of Mumbai as an executive health officer for the Tuberculosis Control Society.
So there's definitely a good program in Mumbai for TB, but there's nothing so far as MDR and XDR is concerned.
There is a DOTS Plus program in the works aimed at providing second-line treatment for resistant strains of TB, and it looks good on paper, but it has yet to materialize. A major reason is that no one knows the actual size of the drug-resistant TB population in Mumbai, because there is no government-supported program to test everyone.
So far as Mumbai is concerned, officially we do not have any facility for culture which is accredited by the national laboratory or the national government.
Without a place where people can get drug-resistant TB diagnosed for free, they are left to pay the high fees of the private hospital. Many don't. Almost everyone is at risk. Something that started in the slums, disguised as a seemingly harmless cough, delivers its deadly payload up the social ladder.
I think one cares about these things largely from a globalizing perspective, eventually the problems that are there in faraway places do creep in closer to home.
And it's not like XDR-TB patients are a new phenomenon in the West. There have been patients in the United States for years. But the difference between the US and India is the scale of the problem and the lack of resources in India to effectively deal with it.
Why should MDR-TB be so treatable in New York or London or Chicago and be such a death sentence here?
Samina has started treatment for her TB, but her prospects are bleak. It is unlikely her family can afford the 2 years of medicines needed to cure her. For Rohan, it might be a different story.
आम्हाला गॅरंटी आहे तो मुलगा म्हणजे दुसरा जन्मच झालाय त्याचा आता आम्हाला असं वाटतं आणि देवाच्या कृपेने तो वाचला.
Because of his access to care, the sacrifice of his family, and support of his friends,
This is my another good friend.
Rohan is likely to survive. He plans to finish school, but he has a new mission in mind: to raise awareness of tuberculosis.
We are not that clean from mind, from being physically, we are not that clean. So I'll be hygiene somewhere. I will do something and tell people also to be alert about this disease.